Good to have you here, everyone. I'm Waki, and today we'll be learning how to draft this Ankara artwork hoodie. A big thank you to my subscribers for tuning in. Please, if you've not done so, to subscribe, like, and comment my video. Please kindly do so, as this video is going to be very helpful. Alright, let's go right into today's tutorial. I'm starting off by ruling a line from the top of my pattern paper. This is my baseline. Once I'm done, I'm going to be drawing in 1.5 inches from that point, and this is my shoulder line. I've joined the lines together. Still from that top line, I'm going to measure my armhole depth plus 2 inches. So I'm working with an armhole of 9 inches, so plus 2 inches is 11 inches, and I've joined it together. I'm going ahead to mark my waistline, which is about 16 inches. My full length, but my camera didn't capture that part, but you are going to be seeing that later. I've joined all of them into horizontal lines, and my next step is labeling these lines. First my shoulder line, then my armhole or bust line, then waistline, and finally the full length line. On this shoulder line, measure your chest width divided by 2 plus 1 3/4 inches. Or your shoulder divided by 2 plus 1 3/4 inches. I'm also marking this on my armhole line, and I'm going to be joining it. I'm going to mark my back line at this point, and it's from the shoulder to armhole measurement divided by 2. I'm done with that, and I've connected that line. From the edge of the shoulder line, I'm going out by half an inch, and on that top line, I'm measuring 3 inches, and I'll connect them together using this slant straight line. On my bust line, I'm going to be imputing a quarter of my bust measurement plus 2 inches. Quarter of my bust was 9 inches plus 2 inches is 11 inches. Once I'm done, I'm going to connect those points using my curved ruler. I'll be using this pattern to cut out the front and back parts of the jacket. I'll be making slight modifications on them while cutting, so watch out for part 2 of this video. I'm cutting the pattern out right now, and I'm going to set it aside and move to the next step, which is the sleeves. Now for the sleeves, measure from the top line to that bust line and divide that by 2. That measurement is going to serve as the height of my sleeve cap, so I'm going ahead to mark it on my paper. My measurement was 11 inches, so 11 divided by 2 was 5.5, and I used 5.5 to mark as shown, and I'm going to connect it into a straight line. I've gone ahead to mark the full length of my sleeves, and I'll also be connecting that point like I did for the sleeve cap. What you want to do next is to measure from the top line to that bust line as I've done there. Use that measurement to place as a diagonal line on your sleeve pattern. Then join these lines together. Repeat that measurement on different parts, and you'll be connecting this line to have the straight parts of your sleeve. When you are done with that, measure that part and divide it by 3. Mine was about 3.3, so I've measured it out. So from the first 3.3 mark, I've gone up by half an inch, and this second point I divided it into 2 and went down by about 1/4 of an inch. Using my curved ruler, I'm going to join this point, and then I'm going to move down to the lower parts of my sleeves, and I'm going to mark my wrist measurements plus 2 inches, and I'm going to join that line. Sorry, I forgot to mention the length of your sleeve is your regular sleeve length plus 2 inches. Your sleeve length plus 2 inches. I'm joining that line at this point. Or you can simply do 2/3 of the lower part measurements and mark. I've drawn the line, and I'm going up by 2 inches. That 2 inches is the length of my band, and I'll be cutting the sleeves out. I'm done, and I'm going to set it aside. We are moving straight to drafting the hood pattern. For the hood length, measure 3/4 of your half length. You can add 1 inch, but I'm not going to be adding any inches to this, so my half length is 16 inches and 3/4 of 16 is 12. I've marked the 12 inches. Another way you can get this measurement is by measuring from your chin up to your front hairline or a little above, but this proves difficult. That's why I used the other method. Once I'm done with connecting the line, I'm going to measure 2 1/4 inches down from that point. and I'm going to be making it into a straight line. I'm going to be measuring the length of my neckline as you are seeing me do. This is in fold and I'll take note of that measurement. From that I have 11 inches and I'm writing it out here. I'm using my tape to impute that measurement as a diagonal line from that 2 3/4 inches line, and I'm going to be joining it using my ruler. I'll also be taking note of that measurement on the vertical line and I'll mark it all the way up. Rule the point together as always, and we are going to move into the curving. Pull a diagonal line as you're seeing me do, and from that point coming by 2 1/2 inches. Measure half of both the vertical and the horizontal lines and mark the measurements. Use your curve ruler to blend these points into a curve. This is the basic pattern for a round hoodie, but I want to be making use of a 3-piece hoodie, so I'll be making a little more modification to it. So from that baseline, I'm measuring out 2.5 inches. I'm following the curve, but at the front I've added half an inch, so that point is 3 inches. I'm using my ruler and the curve to join these lines together. I already marked my back neck measurement at that point I'm showing, and then I'm going to go up by 1/4 of an inch from the midpoint of this part. When I'm done, I'm going to join it using my French curve. Then at this other part, I'm going down by half of an inch and I'll connect it as well. I'm going ahead to cut out the pattern at this point. You can extend that straight line part by 1 inch to save as your facing line or fold line. I'm at this point measuring out this smaller curve. This will help in the planning of my 3rd piece, since it's going to be a 3-piece hoodie and it's about 16.5 inches. I'm cutting another paper and it's on fold 3.5 inches and 16.5 inches long. I'm cutting it out. But when you open it up, it's going to be 7 inches by 16.5 inches. I'm done with the cutting and I'm starting off by measuring my 16.5 inches on this paper. It was slightly longer, so I had to make it to 16.5 inches first. I joined the line, and from that point I'm dividing 16.5 into 3 and imputing that measurement. Once I'm done, from the lower parts I'm going to be measuring 3 inches and joining it below. The upper part is 3.5 inches, so I've joined it to the second line and I'll be blending it in with a curve. You're going to blend the lower part as well. When you are done, you're going to cut this out. I'm just illustrating at this point how the 3rd piece is going to fit the other 2 side parts. I'll be using this pattern to sew this patchwork hoodie, so please watch out for the part 2. I didn't want this so long. Thanks for watching till this point, and do not forget to like, subscribe and comment. Thank you so much. I love you all. Bye.